Hello, I'm going to tell you a Supertoad story. Supertoad and the Dismal Tunnel. Supertoad was lying in his bath. He'd been in the bath perhaps an hour, perhaps a couple of hours. You know how when you lie in the bath your skin goes all wrinkly? Well, Supertoad was warty, but that's all right, because toads are supposed to have warty, wrinkly skin. Anyway, he was enjoying his bath and the telephone rang. Bring, bring, went the telephone. Oh no, thought Supertoad. Am I never going to get any peace? He got out of the bath and went to answer the phone, and just as he got to the phone, it stopped ringing. Oh no, thought Supertoad, and he went back to the bath, lay down. This is blissful. Then, of course, the phone started ringing again. Bring, bring, it went, more urgently than ever. Oh no, thought Supertoad. He jumped out of the bath, leaving muddy footprints over the bathroom floor, and answered the phone. Queen here, come at once. What can I do for you? Said Supertoad, who was a little bit disappointed that his bath had been interrupted. One has lost one's crown. Your crown? Yes, my crown. Come at once. So Supertoad jumped in his car and drove quickly to the castle. When he got to the castle, it was all in a flap. There were people running around, looking under things and in things and around things and over things and under things. What's going on? Said Supertoad. The Queen's lost her crown, came the answer from a big, beefy person who was holding a long, sharp, pointy thing. Oh, said Supertoad, I'd better find her and say, what's going on? Where is she? She's upstairs in her room, said the tall, beefy man with a long, pointy thing. Oh, okay, said Supertoad. He ran up the stairs and he found the Queen in a flap. She was flapping round. My crown, my crown! What's happened to my crown? Well, said Supertoad, where did you last see your crown? My crown? Yes, your crown. Where did you last see your crown? It was on one's bedside cabinet. I put it there last thing at night, and I woke up this morning, and there it was, gone. Gone? Yes, gone. Oh dear, thought Supertoad, I'd better get out my magnifying glass and have a look around. So he got his magnifying glass out and started looking for clues. Is that a clue I see? Is that a clue? He looked around and he saw some little muddy paw prints on the carpet of the bedroom. Ah, he thought, this might be a clue. He followed the clue. It went across the carpet, it went up the wall, and it went out of a window. Ah, thought Supertoad, I'd better follow these. So he went through the window, and holding on very tightly, he went down the brick wall, following the clue of the muddy paw prints. Then it came to a path, and he followed the paw prints on the mud in the path, and then he came to a little door. Well, Supertoad was just small enough to squeeze through the door to a little tunnel. He went down through the door into the tunnel. It was dark in the tunnel. He went on in the tunnel, and he came to a door, and the door said, Ruth the Rat is not in here. Ooh, thought Supertoad, why is there a notice saying Ruth the Rat is not in here? The tunnel was dark and it was damp. He went along. He came to another door, and the door said, Ruth the Rat is definitely not in here. Ooh, thought Supertoad, I wonder who could have put that up there. The tunnel was dark and it was damp. It was dreary. It was dismal. He went on down the dark tunnel, the damp, dreary, dark, dismal, damp tunnel, until he came to another door. On this door was a notice that said, Ruth the Rat is definitely not in here. Well, thought Supertoad, I wonder who could have put that there. And he opened the door, and do you know who was sitting behind the door? Yes, it was Ruth the rat. And do you know what Ruth the rat was clutching in her hand? Yes, it was the Queen's crown. Ah, said Supertoad, you're Ruth the rat. Hello, said Ruth the rat. Yeah. Supertoad said, what are you doing with the crown? The crown? Yes, the crown. I just found it here. Oh, said Supertoad, I'm not sure I believe that. You better come with me. So he grabbed Ruth the rat by the shoulder and pulled her along up the dark, dreary, dismal, damp tunnel to the door of the castle, and they went into the castle, up the spiral staircase, up to the Queen's room. Queen, said Supertoad, guess who I've found? Oh, yes. You found my crown. Oh, lovely. Where was it? Well, it was in a tunnel, said Supertoad, and Ruth the rat was holding it. Oh, Ruth the rat! How could you? You dirty rat! Ruth the rat said, honest, Guff, it weren't me. I just found it there. Well, would you believe that? The Queen didn't believe it. Supertoad didn't believe it. Oh, let me off, please. I promise never to do it again, said Ruth the rat. I'll be a good rat. Oh, well, if you say so, said the Queen, I'll let you off just this once. And so Supertoad let go of Ruth the rat, who scurried off back to her tunnel. Oh, one is really pleased, said the Queen. I'm having such a much better day than I was having when I woke up. Thank you. Now I've got my crown. Your crown? Yes, my crown. Oh, well, after such a tiring day, Supertoad needed to go back home and have a nice cup of tea. And that's what he did. The end.